Namaste, angels. So yesterday I shared with my Patreon subscribers that I was guided to do like a Mother's Day kind of reading, but not just because it was Mother's Day, but like looking into maybe stranged or strained, not strange. Well, maybe you could call them strange too, but I meant to say strained or challenged. That's where the G came from. Relationships between mothers and children, or children and their mothers, and it can be adult children, it could be you and your own mother, it could be you and your own children. Maybe you are separated, maybe you're not speaking. I've shared before with both my Patreons privately and with the broad scope of people who have watched me over time, sometimes in the tens and tens and tens of thousands, sometimes there's only a couple hundred of us, but I've shared that my own mother and sister didn't speak for like 10 years. So it happens, it's happening now. Mother's Day is tomorrow, and there are some children, regardless of what age they are, grown children, and there are some mothers who are going to be hurting, stressed over the relationship that they have with their parent or with their child. And even those of us who are in contact, sometimes there are a lot of challenges, and the energy between us can be difficult. So I was guided to look and see, and then it's like today I'm like, okay, now what am I doing? Like, how am I doing this? I pulled out all these decks. And I think it should be kind of pick a card, maybe four different choices, but not where I'll just have them laid out and you pick a stack and whatever. You should pick from now. Pick from now, one, two, three, or four, what number seems to be vibrating with you. And I think I'll have one card from each of these decks that answers questions. I actually wrote some stuff down for a change. Questions that I wanted to ask in terms of the placements for this reading. So this is the Mary Magdalene deck. I thought it was appropriate to use her since she is like a divine mother representation, and the card we're beginning with is family appropriately. Then we have liberation behind it. So maybe it's like breaking away from your family, or the fight that you have with yourself. This is your own inner fight, your heart versus your head in terms of what to do. And maybe that's brought on because of some past life situation. That's what we're going to look into. And possibly there could be a resurrection of the relationship if it had died, or if it was dying. Maybe it can be brought back to life, brighter, with some love and light. And the real you, not pretending. Maybe it's time for your parents to accept you as who you are, for your children to accept you as who you are. Maybe you are different from that that they knew you to be. Some of us, when we get older, we decide to change our gender, or to reveal our true sexuality, or that we are interested in somebody maybe of a different race that our family have been prejudiced against, or creed, or culture, or religion, or something like that. And so now it's time to be the true you and say, well, listen, I'm into this person, or I'm not, right? What are those things? It's prearranged relationships could come into play too. Some people's mothers force them into situations that they don't want to be in. And so that's what we're going to talk about. So I think isn't it interesting how we're ending on Mother Mary? I had nothing to do with this. I shuffled, and this is the way the cards ended up. So yeah, Mother Mary is the last upright card in this deck. With the Ascended Master deck, I figured let's ask the Ascended Masters what they have to say. And we're starting with Archangel Michael, and you can do it. Health and healing is upright behind that. You're seeing the situation accurately, and Horus behind that. And focus upon your strengths. That may be the way that you can repair the relationship. Or, not everybody feels their relationship is damaged, but maybe strengthened. Maybe you feel it's okay, but it could get better, right? It could always get better. So the angels, this is the angel therapy deck. We're starting with be willing to forgive. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain. Twin flame is behind it in reverse, which is interesting. But we could have soulmate relationships. I wouldn't say twin flame, maybe twin soul even, relationships with our parents or with our children. That we're sent here together to carry out some kind of purpose. What is this? Oh, the life, speaking of purpose, this is the life purpose deck. And we're starting with trust. And behind that is light and love, also upright. And then healer is in reverse. With the past life deck, I have to look at the to see what deck is this. Wisdom. And then the next card is father, and it's in reverse. There could be some relationships that are strained because of the fathers that our mothers chose too, right? Maybe our relationship with our mother is strained because the relationship between her and our father was strained, or because she stood by idly and watched as a relationship between us and our father was strained, and she didn't step in and do anything and protect us. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why this father could be showing up here. That is the next card that's, and it's in reverse though. But then behind it we have trust and faith. So there's that. Speaking of Mary, Mother of God, I know not everybody accepts her, recognizes her, believes her, and certainly not this depiction as Mary, Mother of God. So I put it in air quotes, but that's what the deck is about. And we're starting with hope. I trust that God has a wonderful solution and brilliant plans in store for me. So maybe he'll help us to fix this. Maybe we should try a little tenderness. How's this song go? Young girls, they do get weary. And so we should maybe try a little tenderness. Certainly optimism, thinking positive, always helps in these situations. With the angel and animal tarots combined, there's two decks here. We're starting with the Eight of Autumn or Pentacles, which is about putting effort into something, right? Putting energy into something to reap a benefit. And, some of these relationships are going to require work, but there's an opportunity for success and happiness in them, and for things to turn out exactly how we wished, dreamed of, prayed for. All right, let's shuffle a little bit. Let me give myself a tiny bit of room. Just so everybody can see this, there's no setup here. We're going to have fresh energy on all the decks. I have no idea what the cards will say. Or not say. Back to family. It's in reverse now. But I think on that note, we can cut. The overall energy for this deck is confusion. Angel therapy cards. Mary. I expect that the general reading will be interesting this week too. We saw last week I was talking about the song by Seal. It was from the soundtrack of the movie Batman back in like the 90s. Kiss from a Rose. I had a phase while on this channel, while doing this channel, where for at least about a month, that is how my messages were coming, like in songs. So every week I had this different song that I was talking about. And I call it a phase because I go with, the flow. The universe wants to talk to me through songs. Fine. They decide they don't want to talk to me through songs anymore. That, for the message that I'm bringing to the collective, they want to do something else. That's fine with me too. The channel is set up to go with the flow of the energy and the messages, not for entertainment in terms of, to make the channel pop. So I do what I'm told, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So I had stopped that for a while, but then, yeah, last week it was just really, really strong. So I had to talk about Kiss from a Rose. I had to name the readings Kiss from a Rose, or, have them surrounding that. And then during the week, I was like, okay, we had gotten into talking about the moon. How did the moon fall into it? Oh, because there's a line in Kiss from a Rose that says, "Did you know that when it snows?" And I focused a lot in the reading on what the metaphor, what the meaning of snows could be. And then it popped into my head this week that there's a song by Prince called "Sometimes It Snows in April." And last week's general reading, I had, like, coincidentally recorded it early. So I recorded it on April 30th, which was like a Thursday, a Wednesday or Thursday, for Sunday. It was like I recorded it days in advance. But it was during April. So I'm like, sometimes it snows in April. Maybe there's a connection between that. Now, guess what soundtrack that song is from? Under the Cherry Moon. And last week we also had the pink full moon. So I'm like, could the cherry moon be making a reference to the pink moon? It's possible, maybe, I don't know. But I kept thinking in my head, but cherry, when I think of cherry, and probably when most people do, they think of more red than pink, like it would be more likened to the blood moon. Well, guess when the blood moon is? It's the next full moon. So there are only scheduled to be 2 like major supermoons this year. And that was the one we just had, the pink moon. And that's the one we're about to have at the end of this month, the blood moon, which possibly is the cherry moon. So I'm probably going to get into some weird stuff like that during the general reading. So it should be interesting too. I haven't recorded it yet. All right, let's get to shuffling this one. It is the Life Purpose deck. Again, we're beginning with Trust, followed by Light and Love. Let go. So I never mentioned this, but the Married deck, the card that we ended up on is Marriage. So it could have to do with maybe, again, the marriage between our mother and our father, or the marriage that didn't occur between the mother and our mother and our father, that maybe left a sour taste in somebody's mouth because they never got married or whatever. Or maybe our marriage, like our parents are not happy or our children are not happy with whom we married. Or it can be like a metaphor, it could be like we're married to something, married to some sort of ideology or situation that has gotten in the way. That's possible too. Or that makes us how we are, that, gives us a particular, maybe limited perspective of other things. And wait a minute, let's go back to what I was opening to. And it is Father, Husband, Brother, Son, and Osiris. So again, there may be some sort of connection with that between mother and father that has led to the strain. There's the Mother card on my next shuffle attempt. Mother, wife, sister, daughter. Teacher. Our parents are our teachers. We have health and healing. Let's do one more. And it is purification. Just now with the purification made me think of like baptism. I don't know what baptism might have to do with it. Maybe for somebody it's not their blood relative mother. It's like a mother figure, like a godmother by whom they were raised, or foster mother, adopted mother. We're back to meditate from where we started when I first started shuffling. Oh boy. Behind this is peace offering white buffalo calf woman, which is usually tied to somebody passing away. Whenever I see it, all I have to do is see it, which of course I'm seeing it right now. It could be somebody going through something where their mother has already passed on, and so in order to connect with her, maybe you need to meditate, you need to sit still, and she'll deal with you that way, speak to you that way. Maybe you're feeling some type of way because she passed, or this could be somebody's child too. I'm looking at it as white buffalo calf woman, and it's Mother's Day, so I thought about mother first, but maybe somebody lost a child and you just feel like you never got to say, or you never got to do, or something was left incomplete. You never got to reveal something, come out of the closet. Find the blessing in your situation. And then there's another reverse twin flame card back there too. So that is interesting. Yeah, but I think this could be about connecting with a loved one that's already passed and you feel like you didn't get to work out a situation before it was too late. Maybe the passing was sudden or unexpected. We have male, female popping up, which could be connected to our parents for sure. Scribe or writer jumped out. Something could have to do for somebody, that would be real specific, but for somebody with something having to do with like a letter or something. Maybe you discovered a letter after somebody died that said something that revealed some information. They never came out of the closet, they never revealed the information, but now it's being revealed to you, maybe about who your father was. For somebody, they could have a problem with their mother because there was an untruth about who their father was. All right, I'll cut these. Authority figures, persecution and inquisition. So maybe like being embarrassed about who the father was. Maybe somebody, again, like I said, of a different race or practice. Or like, some sort of like underling, or somebody who's like perceived as like an underling beneath you. This was a higher figure. Or somebody in a position of authority could have taken advantage of that authority and like raped someone, which could be triggering. I don't mean to trigger anybody, but that just came up, and it does indeed happen. All right, let's mix this up a little bit. Put some on the bottom, some on the top, some in the middle. Oh, I just banged down the strength card. It was popping up. I don't know if you got to see it. I didn't realize when it was too late. Oh, I should have let them see that. And we got the Prince of Autumn. So the Knight of Pentacles. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles immediately behind it. And the Ten of Pentacles is a card of family. and, you know, feeling secure, stability, and all of that. So that's interesting. All right, the Knight of Pentacles, trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Maybe this is describing how we can fix things. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. All right, so we'll keep that in mind. I'll put these here. I think I might use them a little further. All right, so here we have the stands. I think that this might be the easiest way to do this. Maybe I should put this down here. I just don't want it to block anything, but I want to be able to pull from here too. Okay, so what past life energies are affecting our relationship with the other person, whether it's our parent or our child, because it'll be different for different people. So this will be number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. For those of you who chose number 1, the past life issue affecting your relationship with the other person is Greco-Roman. I don't think it has anything to do with the actual place. Although you both could have been there in a past life. From this building, I mean, it looks like a courthouse or, you know, like an old, like important building. And I'm getting something that has to do with, yeah, probably like our overall energy suggested, authority figures and justice or injustice or something. I could pull another one. Let's see. It's not a place, but maybe a thing. Could be tied to heritage too, though, for somebody, because that's what the card is supposed to be about, like your connection to this area, maybe a need to travel to Europe, maybe specifically to Italy or something. But the next card is monk or nun. Monks and nuns usually take some sort of vow, make some sort of promise, a creed. That's what I was thinking. Like, I felt like it had to do with more so with maybe a practice, culture, than the actual place. And now with monk or nun, some sort of promise that was made in a past life, commitment or something, a vow, maybe a vow of secrecy, a vow of silence. And so that there's a dishonesty between you from a past life that needs to be worked out, or there's something really religious that's blocking you. For number 2 was angels in reverse. The opposite of angels is devils, demons. Some sort of negative energy hovering over you from the past and or past life. Somebody may really just be not like an atheist, but because nothing wrong with being an atheist and not believing. Well, it could be that, because that popped in my head first. And like the other person doesn't feel that your beliefs are appropriate. So maybe it's not atheist. Maybe even like you're a spiritualist. You know, you believe in metaphysics. You're watching my channel, right? And the people around you don't feel that's appropriate, or so the person doesn't feel that that's appropriate. Like your belief systems, your practices, they disagree with them. Number 3, wars and battles. Is the past life energy that is affecting you. The argument, stress, maybe that you had to witness with your family, Of course, some can be from a past life, but some can be from our past in this life, and it can be things that you had to witness that were, difficult and painful, a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, and that's what you knew and learned growing up. It's just like discord. And number 4, karmic relationship, which can mean a number of things. Your parents maybe were in a karmic relationship, or you were in a karmic relationship and the child was a result of that. All kinds of stuff. Let's go on to the next placement that we're going to look at, and let's look at what is blocking you from improving, moving forward with your relationship with the other person. Let's take it from the regular tarot, the angel and animal tarots. And the first one is the Two of Swords. Okay, so here's your reason for number 1, procrastination and worrying about what others will think. So, like I said, maybe keeping some sort of secret or something. You're not sharing the information, and it's blocking you from making a decision and from moving forward here. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. So that's your guidance, to cease to allow that to block you. For those of you for whom angels was the card, what is blocking you? We have King of Pentacles, which is interesting. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. The King of Pentacles is compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. He is also very possibly a Taurus, Virgo, a Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And that can be the energy or the type of person, can be an actual person in your life in terms of when a card shows up that is getting in the way of things. I'm going to pull another card for you guys, and it's the Two of Pentacles. So what's blocking you? Some other focus of yours, like you dive into work or into something else that you're not nurturing you're not spending enough time nurturing yourself and or your relationships, is what the Two of Pentacles joining the King would suggest. And it's probably like work and money and stuff that you focused on instead of nurturing. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and personal life and to bring a spirit of fun to all you do. Number 3, joining wars and battles. We have the Six of Swords. So I want you to know that like you don't have to allow that to stand in your way, that energy from the past, because it is in the past. It's behind you. The challenging times are coming to an end, and you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let go of the past and embrace the happier times ahead. And for number 4, joining karmic relationship, we have the Six of Pentacles. Your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, and to receive a grant or scholarship. In return for heaven's blessings, be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time or money to reputable charities. The Six of Pentacles also is about reciprocity and exchange, like the ability to both give and receive, and to not have an agenda, to not want something in return, not always be looking for something. Somebody with whom you have a karmic relationship, they may always be trying to get paid for what they give you, to put a value on everything. And this is about just the genuineness of wanting to give and or receive from another person without an agenda, just, like an earth angel sort of thing. So it can be a block if the other person or you always want something in exchange for your love and or affection. What does the other person's higher self want to say to you? So this is like a 5D thing. They're very likely not conscious about this thing. And for number 1, it is release or death. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. So the other person's higher self wants you to know that you can let this go, and there is room to start over with them. or, to start to begin again in a new way. For number 2, it's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. So rather than this other thing that you're always focused on that probably is connected to money and or the material, or maybe a particular person that happens to be an earth sign or it's time for you to instead to shift to that nurturing that we talked about, and love and affection, and like reaching out to family and try to let them know how you feel. For number 3, joining the wars and battles. This is befitting. It's more like of that type of energy, very Martian, very aggression and action, with the Five of Wands showing up. Occasionally, you may experience clashes with others. If you decide the matter is worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your own goals or beliefs. So they're saying sometimes we're not going to we're not going to agree. It's going even if we make up now and the worst is behind you, we still may not agree on everything. But what can we do? We can try to keep the argument to a minimum, right? We can accept that sometimes, yeah, people will disagree, and there's a way to go about handling it. We don't have to go to war with each other. We can try to minimize the conflict without sacrificing either of our belief system goals. And if we're both adults, we can agree to disagree and shake hands and keep it moving. For number 4, 8 of Pentacles. Skilled work is rewarded. So where you put your effort is from where you're going to get the reward. You work on this, it's going to be to your benefit. Maybe work on appreciation for when somebody gives you something, and learning to not always be saying, well, what's in it for me? Or what do I got to do for this? And to accept that sometimes people just give you because they, out of love, and, it's genuine, and that people, and you want people to believe the same about you. What would the Ascended Masters advise in this situation? For number 1, we have crystals. Crystals can be a way to help you to release things from the past, and maybe to let go of old vows and contracts that you've made in a past life, perhaps, or even in this one where you committed to something that no longer aligns with your vibration or your belief systems, and you need to relieve yourself of it. Crystals can help you to maybe figure out how to go about doing that. For number 2, we have right and thought. Maybe you can't speak to the people that you love. Maybe you can't say it verbally. Maybe some people can't find the words, but to speak, but they can write instead. Whatever the situation is, the guidance here is right. So maybe send a card, a letter, an email, a text to get the conversation started between you and your loved one. For number 3, Apollo says, focus upon your strengths. This whole section, number 3, has been about fighting and stuff. It's kind of interesting. I mean, all the cards can be viewed in that way. Focus on your strength. I mean, this is the god of war that's telling you this, suggesting this. Also known as Mars, right? I said this is a very Martian energy. Yeah, it is. But focus on your strength, of course, can be very positive too. And so if it is not your strength, for example, to be able to back away from an argument, then maybe you want to focus on what your strength is, like and avoiding getting into one in the first place. However you need to apply that to yourself. Number 4. Kuan Yin says, let it go. So the block that was in your way, what was it? Oh, yes. The inability to give and or receive without wanting something in return. Let that go. What would the angels add to this or suggest can help you? From the Angel Therapy deck, for number 1, we have Workshops and seminars, attending and giving speeches is part of your spiritual path and purpose. Be open to teaching and learning. So that can have something to do with the crystals, in terms of like maybe a metaphysics class or whatever. Or honestly, the first thing I thought of when I saw the workshops and seminars was kind of like like an AA meeting. Like, hi, my name is so and so, and this is my problem. So if you dealing with some sort of it can be like a support group or something, to which you turn or that you host to help yourself and or other people. And if it's coming from monk and nun, I mean that could be a lot of stuff. People could have been raised by nuns and or monks and maybe been abused. There's all kinds of things that are potentially tied to that, and reasons why one may want to attend or even to host a workshop or seminar. For number 2, you are profoundly clairvoyant. Trust what you see in your mind's eye as well as with your physical sight, for your spiritual vision helps you with healing, teaching, and guidance. So those inklings that you're getting that are suggesting how you should move forward, that you may be ignoring because you're like, do they really want to hear from me? This is the angel stepping in to say, like, when you get those messages, then you can trust them. They are real. Number 3. Similarly, listen to your intuitive feelings. Your body is receiving accurate messages from the divine. You know what I'm getting for this group too, though? For number 3? And it may sound pessimistic, but some of you may want to stay away from the people that, you have these... This pile here has been kind of toxic. And so your intuitive feelings could be telling you, like it's not time yet to maybe reunite with them, continue to fall back or whatever. Like whenever you guys come together, you fight. So maybe not come together. Now, I mean, there could be something later in the future with divine timing. That's just another way to look at it that popped into my head just now. For number 4, have you asked the angels for help with this? Your angels want to help you with this situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices. Ask them to show you how to maybe trust people better, how to be able to accept something without expecting that the other person wants something back from you, or how to give of yourself without feeling like you need the other person to return something to you of equal or greater value. Sometimes it's just like when you throw around the term unconditional love, for example, and I would imagine a lot of people would say that a parent and child should have unconditional love for one another, right? It should just be innate, it should be natural, or whatever. Not thinking about whatever dynamics could have and situations could have gone into those people's relationship. So it's not true. But unconditional love means what it sounds like. It is love without condition. Even the condition of you loving me back. There are no conditions. And that's what the 6 of Pentacles is about. There are no conditions. I'm giving you this because I want to give you this. I'm accepting this because I want to accept it. I'm open to exchanging with you. And that's the end of it. That's the whole transaction. There's nothing else attached to it. Let's see what Mary has to say. For number 1, family. I pray for my family and give this situation over to God for answers, support, and healing. That's appropriate. Number 2, trust. I know that God, in his infinite wisdom and love, is answering my prayers right now. I just used the word trust in relation to this group, though. I was saying you could trust the intuitive feelings that the inklings that you're getting. Number 3, self-respect. See, this placement here is not playing around. It's not playing games. If in order to honor your and love yourself, you need to walk away from these people or this situation, or continue to stay away from them, you should. I honor and love myself through healthful actions. What is healthiest and best for you? in this situation, these people that are having the wars and battles with their family relation. And last for number 4. Oh, how perfect is that? It goes so well with your Six of Pentacles. Giving and receiving. A balance, being generous and receptive, because both are equally important. I couldn't have asked for a better card there in that placement. I have more questions written down, but I didn't want this to be so long, so I think that next I should do advice for each group from the Mary Magdalene deck, since I just used Mary. So for number 1, your card is Guardian Angel. And I would say that this is too about, meditation and talking to yourself and to your angels and your higher self and engaging and, then sitting and listening for the answers. And the crystals too, working with the crystals also. Number 2, we have transformation. So this is making a change in the way you go about doing things, making a change from, from imbalance and focusing only on one thing to exposing yourself to, a more balanced lifestyle and nurturing all the areas of your life and making sure you're putting in time for your relationships too. Even if we're like still raising our children, for example, and so we think that we're doing the best by them or for them, by working really hard and earning a lot of money and giving them all kinds of stuff, material stuff. But like if you're never home and you don't have a relationship, like a physical relationship where you interact with your children, your parents, that does have a poor effect on some people. Sometimes like the wealthiest people, the kids, are the most miserable. It's because of that they're missing the love. You can't put a price on that, on some things. Number 3, your card is Illumination. So you'll be shown, you'll be given clarity, and you'll be shown, when what steps to take and when. But I think that for some of you right now, you don't need to move. You need to continue working on yourself separately rather than trying to engage with this person. And last but not least, we have Divine Order. And you see, Divine Order is all about what? Balance. Look how she's got these. Each hand is outspread, and she's got like an equal bundle in each hand. That's what Divine Order is about. Again, the giving and receiving in balance. Hope you guys have found this helpful and that you enjoyed it. I'll be back with the weeklies. Namaste.